You're probably wondering, why are you dancing? Is it because you're black? Man, why are you so racist? No, I'm dancing because I learned how to contact less events but get hired more often.
How'd you do that?
I see that success is not something you pursue. It is something you are.
All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about how I contacted less events, but I got hired more often. And this is one of the things that I was trying to do for a long time. And once I actually got this down, then I basically didn't need to contact as many events, but I got more events and I got them at higher prices. And so the problem that a lot of people have is essentially, how do I find quality leads? And in terms of me being a speaker and entertainer, it was how do I find quality events? Events that can pay a lot of money and some really good events. And so a lot of people have this problem. How do you find the quality? And if you think about it, you got to ask yourself, well, what is quality? What do you consider a quality event? What do you consider a quality lead? And that's what I figured out. So what I essentially did is I looked at the best events that hired me. I said, okay, these are the events that I really liked. These are the events that paid a lot, the best events that I wanted to do. These are the events that I really want to do. And I looked at all the qualities that these events had. I said, okay, these events, they have this is a similarity, this is a similarity, this is a similarity. I looked at all the similarities of the events. And I put it into a checklist. I said, okay, the event has this, they have this, they have that, they have this. And I created essentially a lead qualification checklist. And in marketing, this is essentially called lead scoring. In with CRM and stuff, what you do is you essentially create a list of qualities. And you say, okay, the event has this, the event has this. You create a list of qualities and you assign a number to each one of these qualities. So let's say one of the qualities is that you're talking to the buyer, you're talking to the person who has the decision maker, and you assign a number. You say the number is 5, and then another quality is they have a budget of $20,000, and then that you assign a number 5 to that one, and then if they have a budget of $15,000, you assign a number 4 to that, and $10,000, you assign a number 3 to that, and so on. And you do that with all sorts of different qualities of your leads. Then what you do is, as you're talking with this person, you say, okay, is the person I'm talking to the decision maker? Yes, let me check that. So 5 points. Do they have a budget of $20,000? No? Okay. Do they have a budget of $15,000? Yes? Okay, 4 points. And now they have a score of 9. And when you get to a certain point, when you say okay, a score of 15 is really good, then those are the people that I really want to do business with. Those are the people who are more likely to close. And so what you do is you essentially create a lead qualification process. You say, here are the similarities of an event. Here are the similarities of the best leads. And then those are the ones that I go after. So let me just show you a couple things. One of the things that I thought is, do they actually hire speakers and entertainers? And I thought it doesn't matter. So let's say you're a speaker. If you're a speaker and you want to get paid to speak, it doesn't even matter if they hire entertainers. All you need to know is, do they pay someone to come into their event? And so if an event hired an entertainer, they can still hire a speaker. And that's what you got to think along the lines of, just, are they willing to pay? So I thought to myself, do they hire speakers or do they hire entertainers? And how do I actually know this? Well, I know this because in the past, I looked to see who they brought in last year and things like that. So if I see that they hired someone last year, they can hire me this year. So that's one of the lead qualification processes. Another thing is, I said, can they afford at least $15,000 for an event? And once again, I look at who they hired in the past, and I also look at the audience size. Now, bigger events can usually afford more money because they're spending more money on the event itself. So I look at the audience size. I say, okay, do they have at least 300 people in the room? Now, this isn't this isn't like an exact science. It's not like, oh, if they have 300 people in a room, that means they got a big budget. No, it's more of if they have 300 people in a room, they probably have a big budget. And so you want to think correlation, not causation, because you don't really know for sure. But just as a general rule, usually the bigger the audience, the more money they have to spend. So I say, okay, they can probably afford that. I also think, like, have they hired someone in the past? Oh, I already talked about that. And then I think, okay, is this a business event? Like, is this a business event or is this a company event? And so a business event, what I mean by that is like a seminar type of event versus a company event is like an employee type of event. A business event where it's more of like a conference, seminar type thing, those are the people I kind of stay away from. And the reason for that is because the psychology is different. When it comes to business events and conferences and all that, the psychology is more along the lines of profit. It's not along the lines of let's have a great experience. We don't really care how much we got to spend. But with companies, on the other hand, with employee events, with dinner banquets and employee sales kickoffs, things like that, they always think about culture first. They're like, okay, what's the culture like at our company? How do we improve that? Oh, we're going to put on this really cool event for everyone who works here. And we're going to just blow it off the roof. We're going to have massage people there. We're going to have music. We're going to have entertainment. And so these people focus on the experience. And so I look to see, okay, is it a company event or is it like a seminar thing? If it's a seminar, I'm like, oh, forget it. If it's a company event, I say, come to daddy, come to me. Come to me. And so that's essentially what I do. I also look to see, is it an indoor event or outdoor event? If it's indoor, good job. Outdoor, get away from me, because I absolutely hate outdoor events. So these are just little lead qualifications that I have, that I provide a checklist where I created my own checklist, and it's something that you need to do. And so you just want to think, what are the similarities of your best clients, and create this checklist. That's all you got to do. If you don't have a lot of events lined up, you have to contact anybody and everybody to figure this out. That's the only way you can really figure it out. Either one, you sit down and say, these are the people I want to work with and what do they look for? So it's kind of like you adjust to them. Or you essentially say, okay, let me just contact everybody and then let's see what are the best qualities. And a lot of people don't realize that in the beginning, you have to essentially just contact everyone because you don't really know who hires you. And that's the problem a lot of people have is they're like, who hires me? I just don't know. And what you got to do is in the beginning, you got to figure that out. You just start contacting people, see who hires you, who brings you in. Then you say, what are the similarities with the people who brought me in and what are the similarities with the people who said no? That's how you figure this out. And that's essentially how I contacted less events but got hired more. And it's really why I was dancing and doing the Benji dance. The Benji dance, the Benji dance, do, do, do. The Benji dance, the Benji dance.